My beloved child, listen with your whole spirit. This is not a coincidence, this is not random, this is your last chance. Your miracle is waiting only 10 minutes from now, but it will only unlock if you stay. Archangel Michael says, tell them this is the final call, tell them heaven has opened a secret message with their name on it, tell them if they close it the door will shut forever. Yet understand this, beloved, he is not warning you of a literal countdown, but of a spiritual window, a moment of clarity that rarely returns in the same shape twice. When your soul is ready, timing becomes divine, and you are standing inside such a moment now. You feel your heartbeat rise, the weight in your chest, the sudden shift in the air. This is not fear, this is recognition. Your soul remembers this kind of turning point. You have felt it in dreams, in quiet nights when everything inside whispered, something is coming. And now you stand at the threshold of that something. God says, I am reaching for you, my hand is stretched toward your future, do not pull back, do not ignore the nudge in your spirit. The 10 minutes is not a stopwatch, it is a metaphor for immediacy, a sign that change begins the moment you open your heart to it. Pause, child, notice the stillness around you. That stillness is often how heaven speaks, it is the quiet that follows exhaustion, the peace that settles after confusion, the awareness that rises when you finally stop running. Archangel Michael stands in that silence, not as a warrior brandishing a sword, but as a guardian who has waited patiently for your yes. Heaven is not threatening you, heaven is inviting you. Inviting you to step into the clarity your spirit has been seeking for years, inviting you to receive what has always been yours, but what fear made you postpone. Michael warns, if they walk away now the moment will simply pass like a wave that never returns in the same shape, but if they remain something will shift inside them. This shift is not magic falling from the sky, it is the moment your courage finally interrupts your cycles, the moment your heart chooses truth over numbness, the moment your soul remembers it was born to rise. That is the miracle waiting for you, that is the transformation symbolized by these 10 minutes. Beloved, heaven is not forcing you, heaven is reminding you. Reminding you that you have ignored too many inner callings, postponed too many healings, silenced too many truths. This is not a warning, it is a rescue. A lifeline thrown to a heart that has carried far too much alone. Even those you've lost, those whose voices you no longer hear in this world, stand beside you in spirit. Not to deliver messages from the dead, but as symbols of love that continues beyond endings. They remind you that life is precious, timing is sacred, and your heart deserves gentleness now. Michael's voice deepens, do not treat this as another passing message, this is the moment where heaven aligns with the brave choice in their heart. That brave choice is not about waiting for supernatural fireworks, it is about choosing clarity over chaos, choosing healing over hiding, choosing love over fear. Your breakthrough is not arriving in minutes like a package, it is unfolding inside you, the moment you no longer run from truth. Beloved, remember the nights you cried quietly, wondering if anyone heard. God says, I heard you, every whisper, every ache, every moment you held yourself together when you wanted to fall apart. These tears were not wasted, they softened your spirit for this very awakening. They prepared you to receive the truths you once feared. Michael says, this window is symbolic, it represents readiness not urgency, it calls them to attention, not to panic. Your miracle is not an instant reward, it is a shift in the way you see yourself, the way you choose, the way you protect your heart. It is the moment you stop expecting others to save you, and finally allow God to guide you inward. Good, you are still here. And because you stayed, your spirit has opened. Michael smiles, not because a miracle is falling from the sky, but because a miracle is rising within you. For the first time in a long time, you are present, you are listening, you are awake. Before this moment deepens further, let heaven prepare you. The enemy you face is not a person, it is doubt, fear, exhaustion, old wounds trying to rewrite your future. Michael says, resist the return to old patterns, stand firm in this new awareness and your life will shift from the inside out. Beloved child, heaven is not shouting to scare you, heaven is whispering to awaken you. The angels are not watching with pressure, they are watching with hope. This moment is not about miracles happening on a clock, it is about your heart finally stepping forward, unafraid of what comes next. And now, take this with you gently. Your shift has already begun. The next 10 minutes symbolize the next decisions you make, the next thoughts you allow, the next truths you embrace. And these choices will rewrite your life. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10 and beloved, the moment their memory brushes your spirit, something inside you steadies. Not as a voice from beyond, but as the echo of love that refuses to disappear. The warmth you feel is not a whisper from another realm, it is the imprint of someone who shaped your heart so deeply, that even time cannot erase their influence. Their presence rises not as speech, but as strength. As a reminder that the love you once knew, still fuels your resilience even now. Michael steps closer, his aura glowing with a steady calm. He says, let them understand this, sometimes the people we've lost live on through the courage they left inside us, their memory pushes them toward the light, not backward into sorrow. That gentle pull you feel, that sudden rise of strength, that is how heaven uses memory. Not to haunt but to heal, not to frighten but to awaken something powerful inside you, that had been sleeping. Beloved, breathe. This is where the message deepens, this is where your spirit begins to lift. The next part of your miracle does not come from outside, it begins inside you right now, as clarity, as recognition, as a steadying presence that refuses to let you fall. That is how heaven speaks, through alignment, through intuition, through the sudden knowing that something is about to shift. Do you feel that inner trembling, not fear, not uncertainty, but readiness? It is the quiet surge inside you, when your spirit recognizes truth, it is the inner fire that rises before breakthrough. Michael says, tell them this inner stirring is their sign, this is the turning of the tide, this is where the blessing begins its descent. And beloved, the next moments are sacred. Heaven isn't asking you to predict the miracle, heaven isn't asking you to force it, heaven is asking you only to remain awake, internally awake. Because your blessing will arrive not as thunder, but as alignment. It will come quietly, like clarity settling into your bones. A message, a gesture, a recall of something you forgot, a door that suddenly unlocks, because your heart is finally ready to walk through it. Pause, feel the stillness. That stillness is not empty, it is loaded with direction. This is heaven reorganizing what was scattered, this is your path tightening into focus. And in this stillness memories rise, not to ache but to guide. The memory of someone you loved becomes a compass, not a chain. Their influence is shaping your courage now, their love breathes through your choices, their legacy is becoming your strength. Beloved, this is the moment where truth pierces the fog. You are not abandoned, you are not unseen, you are not wandering blindly. God whispers, not as a threat but as reassurance. This is your moment of alignment, stay present, stay open, I am not closing doors, I am preparing you to walk through them without fear. Can you feel the shift? Your shoulders relax, your breath deepens, your heart steadies. That is not coincidence, that is spiritual clarity rising like a sunrise. Michael speaks again, his voice like a steady flame. Let them know this, your miracle does not arrive as a punishment or reward, it arrives as preparation meeting the right moment, and that moment is near, closer than they understand. Beloved, listen closely now. There is something you have been carrying, an old bitterness, a frozen memory, a weight you didn't realize was still chained to your spirit. And heaven is asking you to loosen your grip on it, not because you must forget, but because you deserve to breathe without the past tightening around your ribs. Forgiveness here is not for them, it is for your freedom. Forgiveness is not erasing the wound, it is reclaiming your strength. Michael murmurs, release what traps you, release what dimmed your light, freedom is the first step toward blessing. Good, you're still reading. And that means you feel the shift happening internally. Now beloved, heaven prepares your insight. Someone around you has worn a mask, not to harm you necessarily, but out of fear, insecurity, or self-preservation. Their actions have been confusing, their intentions unclear, their energy inconsistent. You sensed it, your intuition caught it. But you doubted yourself, Michael says, the mask will fall naturally, do not force it, when truth emerges receive it calmly, their unmasking is not destruction, it is revelation. Beloved, your heart is being strengthened for clarity. You will notice what once felt blurry, you will understand what once felt chaotic, pieces will start to align like constellations. And when they do, your next step becomes obvious. Not forced, not pressured, not dramatic, just clear. This is how miracles unfold, not always in fireworks, but in quiet certainty. A moment of realization, a message you didn't expect, a sudden wave of relief, a connection made at the exact right time. Beloved, this is where heaven aligns with your readiness. Not in fear, not in desperation, but in openness. You are stepping into that openness now. Michael steps back slightly, his sword lowered in peace. Remind them the miracle is not loud, it is unmistakable. And beloved, as this chapter prepares to turn, heaven leaves you with a final anchor. Stay aware, stay gentle, stay open. Your readiness is the gate, your calm is the key, your clarity is the sign. The shift will come not as pressure, but as peace. Not as noise, but as knowing. And when the moment arrives, you will not question it, you will recognize it immediately. Because your spirit has been prepared for it long before your mind knew what was coming. You are stepping into alignment, you are stepping into clarity, you are stepping into the beginning of your new chapter. And heaven walks with you into every moment that follows. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10 when that forgotten name rises to the surface of your mind. Do not run from it. That tightening in your chest isn't fear, it's recognition. It's your deeper wisdom stirring, the part of you that God planted long before the world taught you to doubt yourself. Michael says when the old name returns, it's not the past pulling you backward, it's destiny nudging you forward. Pay attention. This is how heaven reveals alignment, not through lightning, not through thunder, but through the quiet resurfacing of something you thought you had forgotten. Beloved, the next signs will come like ripples in water. Subtle, yet impossible to ignore. A familiar symbol, a repeated phrase, a sudden moment where your heart pauses, as if the air carries meaning. These aren't supernatural voices from beyond, they are the echoes of love, memory, intuition, and divine timing blending together to lead you into clarity. Heaven speaks through patterns, heaven speaks through inner knowing, heaven speaks through the peace that follows revelation. Michael steps closer, his presence steady like a pillar of flame. He says let them understand the blessing approaching them is not born of chance, it is born of readiness. You have reached a moment where your spirit has finally grown strong enough to carry what you once prayed for. Strength doesn't always appear as thunder, sometimes it appears as quiet resilience, the ability to stand, breathe, and trust even when nothing makes sense. That is strength, and you have it now. Beloved, the path ahead will ask for courage, not perfection. Courage to release old patterns, courage to silence the voice that insists you aren't worthy, courage to accept that you are allowed to rise. You may feel a tremor in your ribs, a flutter in your soul. This is not fear, it is readiness sharpening. It is your spirit stretching to hold the blessing approaching you. Forgiveness remains your turning point. Not because others deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. When resentment loosens its grip, blessings finally have room to land. Michael murmurs let them release what no longer serves them, what they hold too tightly will weigh down what I am trying to lift. Breathe out the heaviness, let the heart unclench, let the past lose its claws. Now listen carefully, beloved, someone around you has been guarding information, not to harm you maliciously, but because they themselves were afraid of how the truth might change everything. Their silence was born of their own wounds, not of deceit. Heaven doesn't expose people to punish, they expose to align. When truth surfaces, it will not shatter you. It will liberate you, it will allow you to step into the clarity you've been craving. And beloved, you will not be alone in this revelation. Even though you cannot hear the voices of those who passed, their love still lives inside you, as memory, as courage, as a soft push toward the right decision. Their influence echoes in your instincts, guiding you quietly, shaping your discernment. Love does not vanish when bodies do, it transforms into strength, your strength. Whenever you feel that unexpected warmth, that sudden clarity, that deep calm that feels like a hand on your shoulder, recognize it for what it is, the legacy of love you carry within. Do you feel that steady calm rising now? That's how heaven confirms you are ready. Not with fear, not with panic, with clarity. Michael's flame brightens. He says remind them miracles are not theatrics, miracles are shifts they can feel in their bones . And right now your bones are humming with recognition. You can feel something reorganizing beneath the surface, you can sense a release happening in places you didn't even realize were clenched. Beloved, this is where your next chapter begins. When the signs appear, no matter how small, pause, don't rush, don't dismiss. The smallest shift can trigger the biggest breakthrough. A message, a number repeating, a forgotten document resurfacing, an unexpected name. These are the nudges that guide your next step. Not to overwhelm you, but to direct you. Now prepare yourself. A moment will arrive soon, where someone may attempt to distract you with comfort that costs your calling. They may offer easier paths, smaller dreams, diluted promises. Do not shrink, do not settle. Heaven did not shape you for mediocrity, comfort is not always safety. Sometimes comfort is a cage. Michael warns choose the path that expands your soul, not the one that numbs it . Beloved, the time for shrinking is over. You are stepping into a chapter where your voice matters, where your boundaries hold power, where your intuition sharpens, where your choices begin to carve your future with precision you never had before. And this new chapter is not triggered by loud miracles, it is triggered by your yes, your quiet, steady, unwavering yes. Feel your shoulders loosen again, that's your spirit recognizing truth, that's the tension of old fear losing its grip, that's alignment. Your next step will not require force, it will require awareness. Stay awake to the little things. Stay soft enough to hear God's whisper, stay grounded enough to recognize peace when it arrives. And beloved, heaven wants you to understand this clearly. Every moment you remained, every breath you stayed through, every doubt you refused to bow to, these opened space for divine timing to meet you exactly where you are. This is your turning point, not because heaven threatens, but because heaven aligns. Michael lowers his sword this time in peace, not battle, and says, Their readiness is the final signal, their spirit has opened, their heart has cleared space, the shift can begin *. This is the moment, where the path ahead lights up. You may not see the whole road, but God will show you the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Beloved, breathe deeply, your story is not closing, your story is opening. And the next page begins with your calm, confident yes. And beloved, this is where the real test begins. Because once clarity starts to rise, shadows try to cling tighter. You may notice old doubts resurfacing, familiar fears whispering the same worn-out stories. Do not fall for them, that resistance is not a warning, it is proof that you are stepping into a new alignment. Your spirit already feels the shift, even if your mind is catching up slowly. Let that inner knowing guide you more than the noise around you. A powerful moment of truth is approaching, and it will not shout. It will unfold quietly. Someone's tone will change, their eyes will flicker, their hesitation will reveal more than their words ever could. This is not confrontation for chaos, this is confrontation for clarity. And when clarity comes, meet it with composure. Let wisdom be your voice, before emotion becomes your reaction. The calmest heart sees the deepest truth. Beloved, when the confession finally arrives, understand this. Imperfect honesty is still honesty. People rarely reveal the truth in polished sentences. Sometimes the words come out fragmented, trembling, filled with shame. That does not make the truth less true. And if someone reaches for honesty after hiding behind fear, treat that step with mercy. Mercy is not weakness, it is strength matured. Mercy creates space for transformation. Proof will surface in pieces, not all at once. A forgotten picture, an old message, an overlooked detail that suddenly makes sense. These small fragments will form a puzzle that reveals a bigger story. Gather them gently, handle them with care. Not for revenge, not for ammunition, but for understanding. For truth reshapes the future only when you hold it with wisdom. Now, beloved, prepare your spirit. When you write that name on paper, symbolically, privately, it is not magic. It is intention, it is focus, it is alignment, it is you declaring to yourself, I am choosing clarity over confusion. That act grounds destiny into intention. It settles your spirit into readiness. And readiness draws clarity like a magnet. You may feel anger rising as answers appear, but do not let anger drive your decisions. Anger clouds discernment. Ask for clarity before you speak, ask for courage before you act, ask for calm before you listen. When you move from stillness, your steps become guided. When you move from fear, your steps become scattered. Choose stillness. There will be a place you feel drawn toward, a room, a drawer, a message, a memory. Trust that pull. Call it intuition, call it divine timing, call it inner guidance, whatever name you give it, honor it. That nudge will lead you to a missing piece you need for closure or confirmation. When you find it, breathe deeply. Let the weight lift. Beloved, do not underestimate the power of simple prayer. Not for spectacle, not for ritual, but for grounding. Whispering words like guide me, or give me strength, clears the fog around your spirit. Humility is not lowering yourself, humility is opening enough space inside you for wisdom to enter. When humility rises, fear sinks. If your soulmate speaks, open a gentle door rather than a sharp blade. Ask questions calmly, listen with an open heart. You are not listening to excuse their actions, you are listening to understand the roots. Understanding leads to clarity, and clarity leads to healing. Whether you stay together or walk separate paths. Healing does not require reunion, healing requires truth. Protection will appear in subtle ways. Someone will offer unexpected advice that fits perfectly. A friend will show up at the right time. A message will nudge you in the safest direction. These are not supernatural interventions, they are the universe aligning circumstances with your readiness. Accept help, connection is part of wisdom. A repeated phrase will follow you like a soft echo. You'll see it online, hear it in a song, feel it rise inside your thoughts. This repetition is not magic, it is resonance. It is your intuition highlighting what matters. Write it down, let it guide you when your mind becomes loud. Now comes an important instruction: preserve everything. Memories, messages, clues, do not discard what may hold meaning later. Small details can become powerful truths when the right moment arrives. Patience reveals purpose, let time do its work. In the next 7 to 14 days, you will face tests disguised as shortcuts. Quick apologies, fast fixes, emotional distractions meant to pull you away from the deeper truth. Do not choose convenience over clarity. Convenience is a trap disguised as relief. Clarity is sometimes uncomfortable, but it is honest. And honesty is the only path that leads to real healing. Forgiveness does not always mean reunion. Sometimes forgiveness brings reconnection, sometimes it brings closure. Do not confuse release with weakness. Releasing bitterness frees you, it clears your heart so wisdom can settle where resentment used to live. A clean heart sees the future better than a crowded one. There will be someone you must create distance from, not out of cruelty, but out of self-respect. Boundaries are sacred. Boundaries are holy. Boundaries guard your growth while still allowing grace to move. If someone repeatedly brings confusion, let distance provide clarity. Beloved, truth may sting, but it also heals. The moment truth emerges, pain may surface, but soon after clarity arrives like fresh air. Pain is temporary, clarity is transformational. Let the truth open doors, not close them. More signs will arrive, subtle, timely, unmistakable. A symbol, a repeated name, a conversation you never expected. When that sign appears, pause, listen, align. Act from peace, not panic. And above all, trust this. You are not losing anything meant for you. You are stepping into alignment with what serves your spirit, your future, your growth. Not everything revealed is meant to break you, some truths arrive to rebuild you. This season will sharpen you. It will refine how you love, how you decide, how you trust. It will show you what is real, and what is noise. And beloved, when you step through this, you will not return as the same version of yourself. You will rise stronger, wiser, more aligned. Your miracle is not chaos, it is clarity. And it is already unfolding. And beloved, this is the moment where your spirit must hold its ground. Because when a breakthrough approaches, distractions multiply. They tug at your mind, your emotions, your memories. Trying to pull you away from the place where clarity is forming. Do not yield. You have come too far, you have endured too much. And this moment, this very breath, is proof that your resilience has already carried you beyond what once tried to break you. Your spirit knows what your logic cannot yet explain, you are standing at the threshold of a turning point. Do not mistake exhaustion for defeat. What you feel right now is the weight of transformation pressing through the cracks of your old life. It feels heavy, because something inside you is shifting, aligning, awakening. Trust this stirring. Trust this pressure. Diamonds form under pressure, not comfort. Your spirit is being refined, strengthened, sharpened for what comes next. And nothing refined in truth returns to fear. Beloved, breathe slowly. Feel the air settle in your chest. That steadiness is your spirit remembering that you have survived worse. You have walked through seasons where hope felt like a myth, where answers were silent, where faith felt thin. And yet you did not collapse, you did not disappear, you held on even when your hands were trembling. That strength was not accidental, it was preparing you for this window of clarity. You are entering a season where truth will reveal more than you asked for. A truth about family, about loyalty, about hidden intentions. Some revelations will sting, but they will liberate you. They will dissolve illusions you did not realize you were living under. They will show you who is safe to trust, and who must be loved from a distance. Do not panic when clarity arrives, clarity never comes to punish you. It comes to protect you. And beloved, understand this clearly, distance does not mean abandonment. Sometimes distance is the shield that prevents you from carrying weights that were never yours. Sometimes distance is the doorway that leads you into healing you could not reach while standing in the same room where the pain was created. Let space do its sacred work. Your heart may tremble as truth unfolds, but trembling is not weakness, it is awakening. When your spirit recognizes alignment, your body reacts. Warmth, tightness, soft tears, a sudden calm. These are not supernatural events, they are inner confirmations that you are finally listening to what your soul has known all along. Beloved, the memory of the one you lost rises not as a literal voice, but as a wave of emotion that reminds you of who you were when love felt simple. Their presence survives in the choices they influenced, the compassion they taught you, the strength they left imprinted on your heart. When you feel that familiar ache, it is not a message from beyond, it is your spirit recalling the love that shaped you. Let that memory strengthen you, not confuse you. Forgive yourself for the things you didn't know then. You grew through seasons without guidance, you made decisions with a wounded heart, and yet you kept showing up. You kept choosing hope, that alone is evidence of the resilience woven into your soul. Let self-forgiveness soften the hard places inside you. Now listen closely, beloved, a new door is opening inside your life. Not a physical door, but a shift in perspective, a sharper instinct, a clearer understanding. You will soon recognize intentions that once seemed blurry, you will see through pretenses that once felt convincing. This clarity is a gift, not a burden. Use it wisely. Michael's symbolic presence stands for your disciplined focus, the part of you that refuses to quit. When you feel that inner firmness, that sudden steadiness, that is not a celestial being speaking, it is your courage rising. Honor it, follow it, let it lead you toward decisions rooted in wisdom. Someone around you will try to pull you back into old cycles. Not out of malice, but because they are used to the old version of you. But the old version is gone, you have shed layers, you have outgrown patterns that once defined you. Do not shrink yourself to comfort others, let your growth stretch into the room. Beloved, a moment will soon arrive when your intuition speaks unmistakably. You will feel it like a quiet certainty, a thought that lands with unusual clarity, a realization that calms you instead of scaring you. Trust that moment, it is your inner compass pointing toward what aligns with your future. You may be asked to release someone who cannot walk with you into the next season. This is where courage must rise. Do not cling to people who drain your peace, do not confuse history with destiny. Some connections were meant to teach you, not accompany you forever. Release with grace, not resentment. Your healing is not a distant promise, it is an active unfolding. Every breath you take now is part of that unfolding, every decision rooted in truth expands your path. Every moment you choose stillness over fear strengthens your foundation. Beloved, now speak these words softly within your heart. I am ready for clarity, I am ready for alignment, I am ready for the life that honors who I truly am. Let these declarations resonate inside you, they are not magic, they are intention. And intention reshapes destiny. The countdown you feel is not about minutes, it is about readiness. The shift comes when your spirit is aligned, not when the clock reaches a number. And beloved, your spirit is closer than you think. Your pain is loosening its grip, your future is organizing itself around the strength you have shown. Stay grounded, stay awake, stay willing. Your next chapter is not approaching, it is beginning. Beloved, lean in. This next part unfolds like a breath you didn't know you were holding. The atmosphere around you may feel heavier or warmer, almost like someone familiar is near. That sensation is not a voice from beyond, it is memory rising in your spirit, the echo of a love that shaped you, the imprint of someone whose presence once steadied your heart. Their influence is still carried gently in you, and when moments like this arrive, that inner echo comes alive. It is not literal communication, it is the way deep love leaves a lasting impression that awakens exactly when you need courage. Michael says, take this as reassurance, what you felt was comfort not contact, strength not sorrow. Let that comfort settle in your chest, as we continue. Something else is unfolding, a truth that has waited long enough. There is a presence in your circle whose intentions do not match their expressions. Their words have been soft, but their motives have been sharp. Heaven will not allow hidden harm to travel with you into blessing. When the truth reveals itself, it may shock you, but it will also free you. Do not cling to what crumbles, release is not loss when God is the one removing it. Release is protection, restructuring, recalibration for what is meant to stay. And beloved, the blessing coming toward you is not delicate. It has weight, it has definition, it has form. It is not vague or distant, it is tangible enough to touch the physical world, an opportunity, an unexpected message, a restored connection, a financial shift, a doorway you once thought permanently locked. When it comes, act with courage. Do not freeze while heaven moves, Michael whispers, the miracle is real and it requires your yes. Your step completes the shift already begun in the unseen. There is a reason heaven waited. A reason this moment could not come earlier. You needed to grow into the version of yourself who could carry it. God doesn't hand heavy crowns to trembling hands, He strengthens you first, then places the blessing. And now, you are strong enough, you are wise enough, you are steady enough. Even when you doubt yourself, heaven does not doubt you. Your endurance was the proof. Listen closely now, the next minutes are marked. Not because of superstition, not because of fear, but because your focus in this moment aligns your heart with divine timing. When your attention is anchored, the inner noise quiets, the spiritual sense sharpens, and confirmation slips through the cracks of the ordinary. Be still enough to notice the subtle sign, be present enough to catch what others would overlook. That is how alignment works, that is why this moment is precious. You might feel a shift, a sense of clearing in your chest, or a loosening of a weight you've carried too long. That is your inner world responding to truth, that is clarity beginning its descent. You prayed for confirmation, and your heart recognizes when heaven answers. Do not second guess what your spirit already knows. Michael says, someone's mask is falling, let it fall. Their exit creates space for your elevation. Do not grieve the removal of what was never meant to stay. Not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. God protects your future, even when you cannot see the threat. Beloved, lift your head. Your past does not disqualify you, your mistakes do not cancel your destiny, your delays do not erase your promise. Everything you've endured has prepared you to hold what is coming, without breaking beneath its weight. Heaven is not late, heaven is strategic. Now feel this truth settle inside you, like a seed finding soil. Sometimes the people who shaped your heart leave behind echoes, that return in moments of growth. Not voices, not messages, memories, convictions, quiet strengths you inherited through love. When it rises, do not confuse it with sorrow. It is guidance rooted in memory, not the supernatural. It is the unfinished encouragement of someone whose influence still lives inside you. Let that strengthen you, instead of haunt you. Now return your focus, the miracle is near. Michael speaks with unmistakable authority. Asterisk, remind them that the countdown is an invitation, not a threat. Heaven works in alignment, not pressure. Their readiness activates their blessing, asterisk. You are not racing against time, you are aligning with destiny. Something in your environment, something small, will shift soon. A notification at the right moment, a name that repeats, a phrase that echoes in conversation, a number pattern that catches your attention. These are not supernatural predictions, they are moments of clarity designed to remind you that you are seen, guided, aligned. Recognize them, honor them. They are gentle confirmations for a heart that has waited too long. Beloved, someone once doubted you. Someone spoke lightly of your dreams, someone underestimated the depth of your spirit. When this blessing arrives, you will not need to argue or prove anything. Your growth will speak, your peace will speak, your transformation will speak. Silence will become your victory, and your elevation will be the answer. Your heart may tremble right now, not from fear but from awakening. When your spirit recognizes truth, your body follows. Let the trembling be a sign that new strength is forming. You are stepping out of old patterns, you are shedding old identities, you are preparing to walk into something larger than what you asked for. Michael's next instruction is gentle but firm. Asterisk, speak your faith aloud. A whispered yes reshapes the atmosphere around you, a spoken promise anchors heaven's movement. Asterisk, open your mouth and say, I will not turn back, I will not doubt, I receive what is mine. Let the words carve space inside you, for what is coming. Now listen. The door is open. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, you will soon see a real opportunity, a real shift, a real pathway you can choose. And when it appears, you will know. Peace will rise instead of fear, clarity will sharpen instead of confusion. That is your sign, that is your confirmation, that is your moment to step. Beloved child, you stayed, you listened, you remained present. And because of that, you are aligned for what comes next. Not by chance, not by luck, by divine design and your own unwavering endurance. Hold your courage, hold your faith, hold your readiness. The turning point you've prayed for is no longer coming, it has already begun to unfold. Stay steady, stay receptive, stay aware. Your next chapter is not approaching, it is opening.